Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, it is a Monday morning. It's Monday again. Keep rolling around. We're lucky, of course. We're lucky if we've seen another Monday. A lot of people aren't, are they? So we have to remember that, be grateful. But yes, it's Monday morning. I'm here based in Spain and it is currently just before 8 a.m. in the morning. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's a little bit chilly first thing in the morning, but it's going to be a sunny day. It's going to be a nice day. In this video, I'm going to talk about Nancy Guthrie and I'm going to talk about what Sheriff Nanos said. And I'm going to show you the video of him saying it. I'm going to show you the tribute that Savannah Guthrie put out for her mum, because of course it was Mother's Day in America over the weekend. And so she's put out a tribute video on Instagram, and we're going to have a look at that together. I'm also going to have a look at some of the stranger things that have been sort of flying around. There's been a couple of miscommunications have been described as people, as you know, in this case of Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, disappeared from her bed in the middle of the night, what we're told. 100 days, just over 100 days. I think it might be day 101 now. But anyway, it's round about 100 days, right at the end of January. And we still don't know what happened to her or why she was taken. So, or where she is, and if she's alive, or if something terrible's happened to her. Well, something terrible has happened to her, whatever. The fact that she was taken, that she disappeared without a trace is something terrible. And of course, Nancy is Savannah Guthrie's mum. Savannah is a famous TV anchor in the USA. All this happened in Tucson, in Arizona, where Nancy lived. She was in her home. So that's what we're going to talk about. So first of all, a little bit of waffle. So I don't know how you spent your weekend. I did a lot of painting yesterday up on my solarium. I'm going to share the photos and that with my members when it's all finished. But oh, my old bones can't take the crouching down to paint there. I'm in absolute agony this morning. So, because of course I'm painting the walls, but it's the bottom bit, isn't it? Where you've got to crouch down and paint it. The rest of it is easy. Painting's like it always looks better when it's been painted, but it's so boring, isn't it? It's so boring. I always start off with a lot of enthusiasm, and then by the time I've finished, I'm sort of throwing the paint on the wall because I'm just bored with it. But also, it's those bottom bits. So the bits in the middle are okay because you just got your roller and you're doing that. But the bottom bit, bending down to paint along the sort of skirting boards of the walls. So I'm in a bit of pain this morning, but I'm all right. I've got my coffee. I've taken my ibuprofen. I'm sure I'll survive. But yeah, let me know what you did. Want to say my thank yous, of course. Thank you for what like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Those are free ways you can. It's completely free. If you watch my channel, to be. Also, of course, don't forget to press the notification bell, all, so that you get notifications of any updates on this case or any of the others that we're covering. Be nice, wouldn't it, to have a proper update on the Nancy Guthrie case? Really would be nice. 100 days and nothing, nobody arrested or charged. 2 people detained but released, but not really cleared. we're going to talk about all the things about the case anyway. So yeah, thank you to those of you who go that little bit further as well to support my channel. Thank you for buying me Ko-Fis. You send me super stickers, PayPal me. Thank you so much. That's so much appreciated. Thank you to my members, of course. This week on Thursday, we'll be having the members live. Um, Thank you to those of you who send me emails with interesting videos or cases that you think I might be interested in, or leave nice comments. Just any positive way you contribute to my channel. Thank you so much. Okay, so hi, lovely lurkers. Thank you for watching. Hi, replay crew. Thank you for watching. And nobody's in the chat at the moment. Maybe it's a bit early on a Monday morning. But if you feel like coming into the chat, come into the chat and say hello. Okay, where am I going to start with this? So, yeah, I think it was yesterday, was Mother's Day in America. Sunday it would have been, I would imagine. It's normally a Sunday, isn't it? And Savannah Guthrie, let's have a look at some photos of the people that are involved in this case. So the most important person is Nancy, up in the right-hand corner there of your screen. Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old when she went missing. Nancy, a widow. She's been a widow since she was 46 years old. Nearly 40 years a widow. Her husband, very sadly, had a heart attack, and Nancy carried on bringing up Savannah, Cameron, and Annie. Let's have a look at them. So this is Savannah, who, of course, is the host of the Today Show in America, or co-host, co-anchor, as they call it. So that is one of Nancy's daughters. Then there's Annie, and that's her husband Tommaso. They've come in for a lot of attacks on social media and mainstream media, to be fair, because they were the last people to see Nancy. So it's sort of understandable, I suppose. Nancy apparently had, the night before she went missing, she had been to Annie's house, Annie and Tommaso's house, which is literally just up the road from where Nancy lived in Tucson. She'd been to their house for dinner and for a games night. She went there in an Uber, apparently, and came back with Tommaso. So, this is, of course, so Tommaso was the last person to see Nancy, apart from the kidnappers, before she disappeared. So that's probably part of the reason why there's a lot of things being sort of said about them. But no, they've been cleared according to Sheriff Nanos. And this is Cameron, which is Nancy's son. So after Nancy's husband died all those many, many years ago, I mean, nearly 40 years this lady has been a widow. She brought up the children, and she made a good job of it. They were various ages, of course, teenagers, but they've all done well in their own field. Cameron is a pilot, Annie is a poet, and sort of the literary sort of creative member of the family, and Savannah, of course, doing very well on the TV station with her journalistic career. So, they've been well brought up by a woman who was literally had her partner taken away from her when she was only in her 40s, in a shock. manner as well. So Nancy's been through a lot in her life, and now she was 84 years old. In those golden years, supposedly just pottering around the garden and going to church, spending time with the grandchildren, all those things that people look forward to when they finally retire. And Nancy was enjoying all that, and now it's all been taken away from her. So abruptly and violently, for all we know, because there was blood on the porch, and it's the blood which proved to be Nancy's on the porch of her own home. And of course, then when the FBI released the door cam photos of this man from the Google Nest camera that Sheriff Nanos had originally said they couldn't get any footage from because Nancy hadn't paid the subscription. And Nanos had said originally couldn't get any video footage. But they did know that there'd been movements detected, and it could have been an animal. This is what Nanos said in the early sort of press conference that he did. Talk of Nanos, let's have a look at him. So, of course, Nanos has said a lot of conflicting things. So it was the FBI that finally released those photos from the porch. So that's how we know that somebody was hanging around Nancy's house that night. We have to presume that the person that was hanging around Nancy's house is the person, or people, was there more than one person that abducted her. And then we've seen them covering up the camera. They've got a gun there with them. They've got a rucksack that is bulging with something. It's packed. That rucksack is packed full of stuff. We don't know what was in it, but there was a lot of stuff in it, put it that way. We also don't know what other footage they have. This is the footage we've been shown of the porch guy and the grabbing the plants and covering up camera. And this looks like he's turning the doorknob or turning something. We had a look at that video. But this video and photos, as I say, was released so long ago now. It feels like a long time ago. And nobody's been arrested. No, this person has not been identified, or at least not as far as we know. Let's put it that way. So 2 people were detained, weren't they? Carlos was detained. This is probably in the first week, was it? Or the first 2 weeks, definitely. And then Luke Daly, who I'm still not sure about, just because of the fact when he was interviewed by Brianna Whitney on the news, he just had so many clothes on. It looked like he was trying to make himself look fatter. Also, he was clean shaven, and but we know that just a couple of years ago, it didn't look like that. It looked like that. So that causes a lot of suspicion when someone appears, that they've changed their appearance for an interview. Maybe one day we'll watch that interview again. It's hard. I mean, it's terrible if he has got nothing to do with this and he's, been under suspicion like that. Anyway, we don't know. He wasn't arrested anyway. He was detained. His car was taken away. His car wasn't taken away for as long as Tommaso and Annie's car was taken away. And he was released without charge, not arrested. So as far as we know, he's not involved, as far as is being said anyway. So that's basically where we are. 100 days on, and we still don't know anymore. Oh, hello, Julie. Buenos dias. Thank you so much for that. It's very kind. Thank you for the super sticker. That really kind. Thank you. So yeah. So where is Nancy? Where is she? Goodness me. Where can she possibly be? Alive or dead? Where is she? It's just like she's got to be somewhere, you know, either Nancy herself, in the extreme unlikely possibility, might be still alive. Oh, and let's not forget the ransom notes. I think they've been sort of forgotten now, haven't they? They're hardly talked about. Why have the FBI not been able to trace these ransom emails that were sent to media, of all people, not to the law enforcement, not even to the family? These ransom notes were sent to media, and I think, is only my opinion, this is total conjecture, they were just meant to muddy the waters. I don't think it was ever a kidnapping. I think it was a deliberate attack on Nancy. That's my opinion. And I think the ransom notes may be genuine in the sense of they've gone from whoever did whatever to Nancy, but I don't think she was ever kidnapped for ransom. I think those ransom notes, why would you send them to the media? Because you want attention. You send something to the media, you want attention. Do you know what I was watching yesterday on Netflix? I was watching My Father, the BTK killer, Kerry Rawson, who is the daughter, bless her, of the Bind, Torture, Kill killer, Dennis Rader. It's a very good documentary on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it, on how it feels for a member of the family, for the sort of police to descend on you and say your father's a serial killer. Very interesting and very sad for Kerry, how it's affected her. But I've forgotten why I started telling you about that now. But you know, oh yeah, he liked contacting the media, etc., because he would, he wanted the attention. All these killers, or who want attention, they contact you. So if you were trying to cover a crime by pretending it was something else, so if you went and did something and you were trying to pretend it was to cover up the real motive for the crime, and you wanted these to think it another motive, what's the best way of doing that? Not contacting and getting the word out there, so the media is running with it as well, is to contact the media, of course. And this is unheard of in a kidnapping case. In kidnapping cases, it's normally the opposite. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell the police. Don't tell the media, etc. Why would they want the media to know, except because they were trying to muddy water? Anyway, so let's have a look now at this from Savannah. It's very poignant. Very poignant. I mean, the thing is, I was thinking about it and I thought, is this how it's going to be now? Why is it? Oh, it's not responding. Hang on. Is this how it's going to be for poor Savannah now and the family? Are they going to be reduced to, messages on special tributes, on special occasions, like Mother's Day, birthdays, Christmas, etc. Is this how it's going to be now? Sad, isn't it? 100 days gone, we don't know where this lady is, this elderly lady. Anyway, I'm on an X account here which is called Nerdy Addict. I would recommend it if you like true crime, but it's an Instagram post, just easier to play on here. So let's have a look.
Maya Mani. Miss you. The angles are.
Okay, now do a pose.
Look at me.
Lost and weary traveler, searching for the way to go.
Maya Mani. Miss you. The angles are.
Okay, now do a pose.
Look at me.
Lost and weary traveler, searching for the way to go.
Maya Mani.
So very sad. As I say, I was thinking about, thought, is this how it's going to be now? Are we never going to find out what happened to Nancy? Or this family never going to, and is it going to be just then every time it's Mother's Day, birthday, Christmas, special occasions, just a tribute on Instagram? Is that what's left for this family? Sad, very sad. And she did put a message on there. Let me just find what she actually said. So, of course, Savannah herself has got children. I hope she, I can't imagine what the Mother's Day was like, but, at the end of the day, she has children herself, as does Annie. Don't know about Cameron, if he has children or not. Anyway, she said, so the message that she put on with the video was, mother, daughter, sister, nonny, we miss you with every breath. We will never stop looking for you. We will never be at peace until we find you. We need help. Someone knows something that can make the difference. So, yeah, that was the message that she put with it. And then she asked people to, if they knew anything, to contact the FBI, funnily enough. So the number she gives on her Instagram post is the number for the FBI. She does not give the number for Pima Sheriff's Department, Pima County Sheriff's Department. Though I can't say I blame her, to be honest. I mean, if this had been my mum and the way this sheriff has been through it, you'd be really upset, wouldn't you? So let me just read that again, what she said. Mother, daughter, sister, nonny, we miss you with every breath. We will never stop looking for you. We will never be at peace until we find you. We need help. Someone knows something that can make the difference. So what do you think? Do you think she's ever going to be found? I mean, when it comes to all this length of time, after, 100 days. Anyway, we all just keep hoping, don't we, that they know more than we do, because we don't know anything. So as far as we can see, there is no progress in this case. That's not what Sheriff Nanos says. I'm going to show you what he said in a minute. Oh, Julie's having lemon curd on toast. I love lemon curd. It's really nice. I haven't had lemon curd for years. Might have to get some now. You've reminded me about it. Okay, so let's see Sheriff Nanos. He's a funny man, isn't he? Just, sorry, I just can't help it. Oh, hang on, am I back? I might have gone off for a minute there. I think I'm back now, though. Sheriff Nanos. Now, a lot of people were saying, when you look at, so he got caught by somebody outside the sheriff's department and was persuaded to at least say something. So he was asked, have you got a message for Savannah and the family on Mother's Day? And he said, well, you'll see in a minute what he said, but basically he said, no, I'm good. I'm good. Well, we know you're good. You're fine. You're fine. It's, the family that aren't fine, of course. Anyway, let's have a look what he says. So they say, hi, Sheriff, how are you? And he says, really great. Really great. Do you know, he's just a fool, isn't he, really? Really great. He probably is really great, but the thing is, did he really need to say that? I don't know, he's got no sense, has he, of what's the right thing to say, or gravitas or whatever. How are you? Really great. I'm great. I'm fine. Yeah, there's an 84-year-old woman who's been missing for 100 days, but I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm just off to the basketball game. So he said to him, I was wondering if you had a message for the Guthrie family. And he says, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. He's okay. No, do you think, is he just, he's got no clue, has he? I mean, really, all he had to say was, yeah, I'm thinking about them today. I want them to know we are doing everything we can to find Nancy. And I'm sure we'll have some news soon. I mean, there's something he could say, but he didn't know what to say because he's not up to the job. He's just not up to the job, is he? So then he says, it's been 100 days now, sir. Are you guys any closer to solving? And then he says, Nanos says, we are. We are. So he was very certain then. He didn't know what to say when they asked if he had any message for the Guthrie family, but he said that. He said, we are nearer to solving this case. Another thing that people have been saying, and I don't believe this, but it's funny, the more you look at it, you think, oh my God, if you look at his stance, see him standing there, and then you look at a lot of people have drawn the comparison to, he's got exactly the same stance as Porch Guy, which is odd. Look, there. It looks just, the outline and the way he's standing and his arms and everything is just, he can't be Porch Guy because Porch Guy's taller, isn't he? And they thought he seemed like he was younger, because he's in his late 70s himself, isn't he? Nanos. I mean, he's no spring chicken, but he definitely looks after himself. He's at the gym every day. He's probably on his way to the gym there. And what you don't actually see on this video is he gets into his white sports car and off he drives. He looks like someone off Toy Town to me, but anyway. This man is all ego, isn't he? Just all ego. But yeah, look at that. So that's him standing there. And then when you look at this Porch Guy standing there, it just looks exactly the same shape. Anyway, I don't think for a minute that Sheriff Nanos is Porch Guy. I just wanted to point it out because people are talking about it. Let's watch this one more time. You're okay. As long as you're okay. There you go. So, according to him, he's okay. He hasn't got a message for the Guthrie family on Mother's Day. No, he's okay. But they are closer to solving it, according to Sheriff Nanos. Sheriff Nanos. And as you know, we can believe everything Sheriff Nanos says because he never gets things mixed up or says the wrong thing, does he? Which leads me to another thing that I just wanted to clear up. So there was a guy who, let's just see, I've got it somewhere, who works for the sheriff's department, who was on the Brian Entin show. Now, I'm sorry, I've forgotten his name. What was his name, this guy? So he's a Sergeant Aaron Cross in the Pima County Sheriff's Department. And on Brian Entin, he said that on the Brian Entin show, who's a podcaster, who's a journalist, who's doing, done a lot on the Nancy Guthrie case. And this Sergeant Aaron Cross said on the Brian Entin podcast that the family had insisted when the police first got there, the family said she might have wandered off. And this was completely contrary to what we knew before, because right from the word go, Sheriff Nanos was saying, we knew she couldn't have wandered off because mentally she's fine. Physically, she finds it difficult to walk, but mentally she's fine. So this is not a case, said specifically, didn't he? Right from the beginning, this is not a case of somebody wandering off who might have dementia. Now, so this sergeant on the Brian Entin show said the opposite, said the family were insistent that she might have just wandered off. So anyway, there's been a clarification of it, and I do remember exactly what was said at the time. They didn't say that she may have wandered off. They said they thought there might have been a medical emergency and she might have been stretchered off. Because don't forget, supposedly, when they got there, the back doors were open, propped open with plant pots. So when the family, so what's supposed to have happened is the friend that Nancy was due to go round to her house to watch the church service on the Sunday, she didn't turn up. So that friend was worried. That friend rang Annie and Tommaso and said, "Oh, your mum hasn't turned up, for this church service that she always watches with me. They normally watch this church service in New York. She hasn't turned up." So Annie and Tommaso supposedly then went to the house. Now, strangely enough, so they saw the doors were open and things like that. So they said, what they actually said at the time was not that they thought that Nancy had wandered off, but they thought maybe there'd been a medical emergency and she'd been taken, on a stretcher out of the back door. So that's actually, this Sergeant Aaron, he's had to go and clarify this now and say that he was wrong in what he said on the Brian Ensign show. So let's just have a look at that. So what we have to remember as well is none of these people from the Pima County Sheriff's Department like Sheriff Nanos, do they? So nobody's got a good word to say about him. I think that's weird, don't you? Because, yeah, you can't please all the people all the time, that's for sure. But when the only people that are coming out and speaking out are anti-Nanos, where's his pro people, Normally in sort of political, because this is a political post at the end of the day, isn't it? He was elected. It's not an appointed. He was elected by the people. So you're always going to have some people who don't like you. I mean, I think that's pretty, given, isn't it? I just think with Nanos, nobody's coming forward to say they do like him. Where's, they're all the against Nanos people speaking out. What about the pro Nanos people?
Mm-hmm. I know that there was some news made earlier this week by you saying that you were told something, and then now it's you and I have talked, and it sounds like maybe that wasn't 100%. It might have been a misunderstanding. So let's talk a little bit about that, because you were quoted as saying that the family said at first to the deputies that Nancy Guthrie may have just walked away. Savannah Guthrie, in her interview with NBC, said something to the effect of like her mom didn't have the ability to do that. So what is the confusion there? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So it was kind of a miscommunication. I've since spoken with Mr. Brian Ensign, and he's going to clarify in his next video, I believe. But the person that was there that day told me that the family initially stated that she had walked away, and drilling down on that further, it was clarified that what he meant to say was that the family said that she may have been taken away voluntarily, possibly by an ambulance to a local hospital. So, apologies for the miscommunication there and the mistake. So I'll always try to clarify and correct any mistakes that I make. And so, I've spent today reaching out to Mr. Ensign and some other podcasters, just making sure they're aware of the truth.
So that's the truth. So the truth is not that they said they thought she'd wandered away, but in fact that they said originally maybe she was taken voluntarily because maybe she had a medical emergency, rang, 911 or whoever you ring, and they came and took her away. But of course, that's unlikely, isn't it? Because unless she was really, really ill, she would have let her family members know, wouldn't she, that she was being taken to hospital, I would imagine. And even if she wasn't too clever, surely the paramedics would have said, who can we contact? But she could have been unconscious, I suppose. So, I mean, it's a possibility, but I do believe that they did ring the hospitals, didn't they? Now, another strange thing is apparently it took over an hour before they called the police about this. So they did search for her in the locality. I suppose you wouldn't want to bother the police, would you? But having said that, it's about an 84-year-old woman with mobility issues. There's blood all over the porch. I think I'd be straight on the phone to the police. As soon as I saw that blood on the porch, I'd be, police, please. That's not normal, is it? Unless, they just thought she may have banged her head and, maybe wandered off for that reason because she was concussed or something, I suppose. I was just, you try and put yourself in people's position, but you always think, oh, well, I would have done this or I would have done that. But really, until you're in that position, you haven't got a clue what you would have done, have you? The problem, you're sort of torn between the fact you want your mum to be safe, but also your sort of reasonable head would be saying, oh, she'll be around here somewhere. She'll be around it. You're not going to go in and think, oh, mum's been kidnapped. That's not going to be the first thought, is it, that comes into your head? Not unless you've had threats of that happening. If I turned up, I mean, my mum sadly is no longer with us, but I was thinking thought if my mum, she never really lived on her own, but you'd go there. You say their friend had phoned you and said, not only your mum, anyone who's like, part of your family. And somebody rang them and said, oh, they were supposed to be here and they haven't turned up. And you'd go, and don't forget, Annie and Tommaso only live around the corner. So there's no point in phoning Savannah, was there? Because she's over in New York City. So they phoned Annie and Tommaso. Sorry. And they've gone straight round there because they'll be thinking, oh, what? I mean, your first thought with an elderly woman like that would be that there'd been some sort of medical reason why she hadn't gone, wouldn't you? That is, I think, the first thing that would occur to you. And then when you got there and there was blood all over the porch, then you would really start worrying immediately. Now, I'm presuming they've got keys to get into the house, spare set of keys, or would they have had to go round the back and go in through those doors that were propped open? Or would they have just gone in through the front way? I don't think they could have not seen that blood, surely, on the porch. Now, it's said that Nancy entered and exited always through the garage. So maybe they didn't go to the porch. Maybe they went in through the garage as well. There's a lot of talk about that, isn't there? Why? Apparently, it was only 2 minutes that the garage door was open for long enough for Nancy to get in. Blood and smoking. Just thinking about me, the Nancy got a particularly day on my bones in that I've been doing. I think longer than to get out of the car, never mind getting through the garage. But anyway, I don't know. So that's it. So this is all the reasons why people are still suspicious of Tommaso. He was the one that took her home. Only 2 minutes, the garage door was open. Then when they went the next day, it took them over an hour before they rang the police to report her missing. What are the other reasons? Well, now let's not forget as well, they did go to Annie and Tommaso's house, spray luminol, take photos. The car was examined, like with a fine tooth comb, and they're not arrested. So we presume, they've been cleared. Nanos said they've been cleared, but it seems like the due diligence has been done. I mean, at the end of the day, when somebody goes missing and they've been at their family member's house earlier, the night before, they are going to be suspects. Of course they are. And, they won't not be suspects just because they say, oh, we didn't do anything. The police have got that duty to go there and, spray luminol and make sure nothing violent happened there and, check out their story and all those things. That is just, I don't think there's anything suspicious about that. I think that is just what the police would do, whoever it was, who was the last person that saw Nancy alive. And, well, we don't know that until we kidnap her, of course. So I don't think there's anything really suspicious in that. I think, the fact that they took their car even, or, of course it was checked, because it's possible that Nancy might have been in the back of it, but it was checked. The house was checked. And no, but they weren't arrested, so nothing was found, obviously. And Nanos says they're cleared. So, really, until we know any different, we have to presume that. But of course, in my opinion, as you know, I don't believe that they are absolutely cleared because they haven't caught the perpetrator yet. So, I do feel poor Annie and Tommaso, because if they are innocent, that's a terrible thing, isn't it, to have to live with people accusing you of doing something to your own mother. But you can sort of I can see it as well, because the perpetrator hasn't been caught. So it doesn't matter how many times Nanos, especially Nanos, because nobody believes him, doesn't matter how many times he comes out and says, oh, the family aren't suspects. But, well, who are the suspects then? People will always think, till this perpetrator is caught, there'll always be shade cast on Annie and Tommaso, sadly, just because of the fact they were the last people to see her. And Tommaso supposedly delivered her home that evening. So, it's logical that people are going to think something, isn't it? Okay, so that's just what I wanted to tell you today. Nanos says progress is being made. Yeah, and we know that he always. I mean that video of him. You can look back and see it again if you've missed it. But that video, he's just a fool, isn't he? So he's come out of the police station. The reporter has said to him, "Have you got a message for Savannah and the family on Mother's Day?" He says, no, I'm good, thanks. I'm fine. It's all about him. It's all about, he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. They're not fine. He had nothing to say. He couldn't think quick enough on his feet because he's not up to that job. He could have said something. What he should have said was, yeah, I'd just like them to know I'm thinking about them today. And we are working as hard as we can, and we hope we'll have some answers soon, or we're sure we'll have some answers soon, which would have been better. But no, he didn't say that. He just said, no, I'm okay, thanks, or I'm fine, thanks. He's an idiot, isn't he? Anyway, hopefully we see the back of him soon. There's a lot of things going on to try and depose him. Hopefully one of them will be successful and somebody better will be put in charge. Though, of course, no guarantee of that, is there? It's like, Though I don't think they could be any worse, surely there couldn't be any worse. Okay, so I'm off. So thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about Nancy, of course. Very sad. Mother's Day has come and gone. Mother's Day's come and gone with no new, no official news, just Nanos saying, yeah, they're making progress, but, nothing really. Hi, Sean. Oh, thank you. Sean sent me a super sticker to thank Julie for sending me a super sticker. That's very kind. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, watch the replay because I think, well, apart from the tribute from Savannah, which is very touching, just to see Nanos and see what you think. Does he look like Porch Guy? Do you know, I'm going to have to put those two, the picture of him standing there where he looks exactly like Porch Guy. I don't think he is Porch Guy, but it is interesting how his stance is exactly the same. Yeah, but he's too short to be Porch Guy, I think. So thank you, Sean. And thank you, Julie. Julie sent me a super sticker as well. So I just want to thank all you guys for watching, for liking, for subscribing, all those things. Please put your DNA on the subscribe button and the like button and the notifications button. Boom, fingerprints, 3 clicks, please. I'll be back later on today. I think I want to tell you a bit more about the Preston Davy, the baby that. Anyway, this is in the UK, a case in the UK. Probably the worst case I've ever covered. But I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on that, where the monster dad, his interview. I want to have a look at his interview, see what you think. His police interview when he was first sort of called in about it. Oh, just, that's haunting me, that case, that baby, absolutely haunting. But anyway, it's got to be good. It's upsetting, and YouTube doesn't like it. YouTube limits the ads every time we do a video about little Preston. And that is a video that I will be asking you to share as well, because I want the maximum diffusion for that video, because those horribles who did what they've done to Preston, they need showing up for what they are. And trouble is, when YouTube limit the ads, they don't push it out in the video out in the algorithm. So anyway, I'll be doing that later. So thank you so much. Take care of you, because you are the most important person. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Thank you so much for caring about Nancy. Thank you.